out right now. You don't even want to mess with them in the grand final. That is a much scarier prospect than just beating them right here, right now.
Oh yes, playing Faze in a best of 3 when you have a stand-in, please, that's not something you want if you're Astralis. So a lot on the line in that sense still. Obviously, this is the B stream. If you guys want to go and check out the other A stream, then just go on Twitch TV and then check out the Counter-Strike section. And all the games will be there, C stream as well. So definitely make your pick right here. It's the pistol round, and so far Astralis have been doing a lot of work, especially Dennis. And we'll see if they can make it work. Running up the middle, trying to see if they can make the charge in. Olaf forced back and actually using quite a few bullets already. Needs to reload at some point. He somehow is still alive and has made it back around the corner. Guardian getting the kill on Kiebu is a very good start here for Faze, and they need it.
This is a really weird position to be in. Guardian with heavy damage onto Xyp9x as well, gonna force him passive. And Astralis is caught in a world where they're just chasing one player down. They didn't realize this. The A bomb site's completely open, but all these weird positionings from Faze has pulled them across the map. And they've got nothing now. They've given up everything they gained up mid, and Guardian is just toying with them. Eventually he will fall. Glaives found him out.
This is the most ridiculous.
It's put him in such an awkward position, hasn't it?
And they saw him as well. If he had been wearing just the smaller boots on that day, would have been fine. But just the tip Moses. 4 versus 3 now as Rain picks up the shot on Dennis, and he is another really skilled and intelligent pistol player. Rain Olofmeister to get the shot on Glaive, and that's going to be the last of it as Sip goes down. Faze picking up a big round here and a much needed one. Guardian was just such a menace to them in that round, even if you just got 1 kill. Like, that just threw the whole round out of the...
I feel like you could actually just watch Guardian's POV with like a circus music track over it, and that would be like the most perfect round ever. Great job from Olofmeister, though, even initially, just like not dying in those fights where he was falling back, kind of fighting as he retreated, and just staying alive and making things very confusing for Astralis. It's a big pistol round for Faze to win 1-0. They've got a lot of rifles on the board. Maybe a product of all these deagle buys that we're seeing lately is just saying, let's just get the rifles out so we can actually compete at a long range.
And no SMGs, in fact. Something that we did see when they sort of changed the UMP. Then FAMAS started getting picked up a bit more by some teams, but not all. And this is one of those maps where the CSET 75, which Astralis have a fair few of, could be very dangerous. Nico getting a good headshot in on Dennis, going to set up for the flashbang. I think that even failed a little bit. Very scary indeed as Dupree picks up 2 big kills there, shutting down Nico second.
All due to 1 weak flashbang from Nico, and you can just see he turns the corner, gets deleted. Guardian now, he's up with the FAMAS. I think he knows there's 2 in here, clearing the corners, but no, he only didn't even see Dupree whatsoever, so that's a good find, and it's just trades for Astralis down the stretch. Only Rain left, and I think at this point you just got to say save the M4, see if any mistakes are given up, but he's just going to fall away. No kit as well, so it's going to be a response immediately for Astralis.
Rain doing his best to make it expensive, but obviously that is going to be very frustrating for the Faze side of things here. Getting that great start, not even saving the M4 here. Astralis doing a great job.
I mean, we talked about how good they were in pistol rounds, right? So they finally lose 1, and then they just convert on the second round. So nicely done from Astralis. I think Faze gave up too much ground. Like, Kerrigan kind of retreated. They didn't have intel of how close Astralis was to the actual bomb site, and so that forced Kerrigan to get in front of the smoke to try and help out Nico, and none of the battles go their way. Astralis is going to tie things up. They'll take the advantage. Now it's Deagles and CZs for the CT side. See if they can return the favor again.
Yeah, they really are going to have to, because it's get a bit tricky if they can't establish that good economy on the CT side here. You know that's going to be a big thing, as it has been in almost every game so far. Rain falling back with the Deagle in hand. But the same problem kind of is occurring right now for Astralis. They know when they get close to those corners, the CCs, and there's 3 of them in play right now for Faze, they can do so much damage.
Right. This is going to be huge for Rain at this angle. Nothing coming from Astralis quite yet. Just about to hit 1 minute left in the round. Nade's starting to ring true. They want this control. That's a good find on Olofmeister. Now falling away, and Guardian's blocked off by a smoke.
Flashbang was so good. Rain ducking down into the smoke. They're all around him, and he only has the Deagle, so that's not going to make it very much easier either. He does eventually go down to Dennis. So it would have been great if he could have found a couple of kills in there, but the rest are going to escape.
We're seeing that play more and more often, aren't we? We're seeing, you know, if you're in that situation where you're in the bomb site, you're kind of just trying to hide in that smoke and sneak around, but Astralis manage it quite well. They don't lose track. And now there's nothing really left for FaZe to try and do. So we're going to see them just kind of give up on it, save these armor and then upgraded pistols for the next round, see if they can do any of the damage there. But Astralis looking good early, Anders.
Yes, they are. And again, they probably do not want to face up against the FaZe Clan in the best of 3. So if they can sort of knock them out here and almost ruin their chances, that should be the goal, obviously. But a map like Inferno, how do you feel about FaZe on this map?
You know, it is a map where the advantage that FaZe has is because they have so many individually skilled players, you're always going to be in a situation where you're stuck due to an awkward rotation or someone getting picked off, where you just have to win like a fight all on your own. And they have all the players that can actually do that. You know, Nico, Olaf Meister, these guys, they can win. And you have Guardian dynamic with the AWP. We haven't gotten to Rain there. So when there are players who can pull themselves out of really tough positions, and also playmaking ability on this map is huge. Like, if you could just read what's coming in the defense and hold the thought, because Karabi's going to come right through and he gets a double kill. A quick spin around, and Nico's out of the action.
Great entrance, a lot of power towards Banana. We always talk about that part of the map, and I'm curious, there's been some iterations of teams where on this new version of Inferno, they've done very well on the CT side to control Banana.
Yeah. And
sometimes it just breaks down, and no one can sort of hold the B-bomb side. So I'm never really sure what to expect. I'd love to see FaZe come up with a bit of a big play in terms of that, because it's so pivotal how the map plays out. Guardian hoping for an exit. Doesn't look like he's going to get one.
No, but Olaf did. Olaf found Zipnix. Guardian just waiting now for the end of the round. And it's going to be 3-1 for Astralis, so now we'll see the weaponry. And the big question for the Astralis side of things is how many of these UMPs do they upgrade? Do they keep them? Do they do something fast? Do they, stay in the more tactical thing? Or, I mean, you want to get close range with those, so it's going to be interesting to see what they choose, but obviously they're going to have plenty of money for whatever they might need.
See how it unfolds. 3-1. M4 picked up on Guardian. That's one indication, you wanted obviously that AWP eventually to be picked up on him, even on Inferno. But it does look like they're going to have the grenades, at least most of them, to make this work. Are they going to risk being aggressive though on the CT side, like the first real rifle round you get in?
Yeah, especially early on. That's always the tough thing to do, because here's the other thing you have to think about is if you are aggressive, at the start of this round, and it fails or you don't find any success, you've used your utility to be aggressive, to make that kind of aggressive play early on. And if you don't get anything out of it, then all of a sudden you've just used nades and you have nothing to show for it. So that's where things get scary. Jesus. The bomb went off in the other game and all the flames sprout out of the stage. That's always a surprise.
Yeah, they did tell us beforehand, don't move away from your spots.
Yeah, they did actually say, stay rooted at your desk.
Or you'll walk into the pyrotechnics. So good stuff right there. 5th round coming up. Astralis sticking with 3 UMPs, which is we sort of sometimes call this a bit of a bonus round when you just, you don't really want to upgrade even if you could. And if you can win the round with just this, then you're in a great spot. So a bit of a risk, but not an outrageous one.
No, not at all, especially because there is a certain amount of victory, even if Astralis loses this, but they get, 3-4 kills. That's a big win, because you can force the reset in the next round and they'll still be low economy. So you don't even have to win this round, you just have to do the damage. That's where these UMPs can be so deadly, especially if you build up bonus money. Actually a pretty big presence for FaZe early on at the top of mid. Molotov gonna force Rain back. That's great from Zipnix. He really is just a robot.
That's
the Molotov and spam combination, it's insane.
The sort of stuff you would put in a Counter-Strike textbook, but you wouldn't really expect it to work. You said, yeah, theoretically that can work, but it's very hard to pull off because, what are the chances? Well, pretty good apparently.
Well, then look at the rotation as well. They know they've gotten 1 kill. They know they've brought a second player, Kerrigan, back towards A. All the spray transfer from Nico. The fact that he's able to get that second kill is so huge.
It's beautiful, but now he's trapped in the corner and he can't get the reload in just in time. He'll be there with the shot and 3-on-3. Are they going to be able to retake this bomb site? They need just 1 quick kill. Nobody rotating in from Banana, so eventually Astralis are going to realize that and focus on the rest. They have a defuse kit on Guardian, who's got health for it as well, but they really need to make a quick entrance, and already they're losing health across the board. Kerrigan trying to flank in from construction, looking for one opening. He's not seeing anybody, and Sip will get him the kill. Now Olaf and Guardian in so much trouble.
Yeah, they really are. Olaf with the kill. He's going to get a second one as he kind of falls back, and Astralis is going to take the round.
Davin has made his way into the Royal Arena. Don't know how I feel about that.
No, I don't either. That's pretty interesting. How do you feel about it as a Danishman? Those are your people out there, Davin.
I mean, we're always a little bit behind in Denmark, I feel like, so you can't really blame us for it. But you know, we should. I feel like we should be better than that. We can move past it. Oh, colliding with the grenade, always a bit uncomfortable. But it still means that with a 4-1 lead and the lack of money on Faze, Astralis has set themselves up for a really great first half here.
Yeah, I mean, this is beautiful because this is going to be so tough for Faze to get back into this. If they mismanage like one more mistake with the money down the stretch, they can be in a very weird cycle for the CT side. Trying to hold off with these deagles. Smokes are being deployed, and the tough part is Astralis just is so good at making these mid-round decisions. The last one was beautiful. Again, they're just going to apply some pressure to the B bomb site, transition back towards A, and just so knowledgeable, so aware of clearing out all the dangerous angles. And Dennis has been so good in this event as a stand-in for Astralis. Yes, it's just against pistols, but he's got 2 more entries here.
It is really scary because he's playing like someone that just has no stake in it at all. You know, very much like, well, this is not my team. I mean, if this crazy rush works, then great. But if it doesn't, you know, it's not really my problem. and as a result, yeah, he's just completely fearless.
That's great as well because at this point you have to think, what, he's playing for a contract almost to a certain degree. It's a contract year for Dennis.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Sip and Dupree picking it up. Dennis closing out the round and a 5th for Astralis. They do catch fire and make their way to the 5th in a row here. Guardian with the AWP. Is that going to be the big change?
You would hope so, because what we saw out of G2 earlier was Kenny with the AWP never really kind of came online. Kenny like never really had that huge impact that you would expect out of him. So if you're Faze, you got to be hoping Guardian does come alive in that sense to take on Astralis. You want that off because on this map it can be so good at getting picks. You can put it so many different places as well. Here's Glaive through the smoke, but Nico shuts that down immediately. Glaive trying to pull a fast one, relying on the flashbangs to work, and not quite as they hoped. Olaf going to get forced back, and Dupree actually picking up a lot of ground, but that Molotov is going to close down the opportunity.
And just looking at that, you know, what if the other guy peeks you again, Dupree, and you've got that knife running up, but...
He just didn't care, did he?
No, I mean, he was really, really into that.
That's also where it comes into the fact that like these players have played against each other so many times in all these maps. That's a lot of knowledge of who you're going up against as an individual. Brilliant flashbang into Dupree finds Guardian. Hunts him down, the AWP is out, no impact. Rain is dancing with death, but he's going to drop back as well.
Still 4 versus 4 here. Faze have got 2 in A and 2 in B, which is not always a great setup. If Astralis all put all four guys on one bomb side, you're going to be in some trouble at least. But there's a good shot. Rain to take down Sip, stopping the rotation in from Quad and pushing in. That would have been the opening they needed, but Dennis goes down to Kerrigan, and now they're really trapped Astralis. How do they make their way through? You
almost have to go through the smoke at this point. The timer's running out. Nico spamming. He gets caught. Karaby's dropped him. Doesn't take any damage, and Kerrigan, how much does he want to commit to this fight? Does he want to wait, or does he want to try and pick one off? 18 seconds left on the clock, and now he's going to swing out wide, and he wins that fight. That's big. And there's Rain. Finally, Faze again on the board.
First round picked up. The other round they got from the pistol, just in case you're joining us. So Astralis got to win 5 in a row, but now they've been cancelled out. So what can Faze do? They really need to put up a lot of rounds now. Just make it 10-5 here, which I think is doable.
They definitely can't lose this round. They need to string them together. You can see there's at least some money built up, but it's not a whole lot to play with down the stretch. So if you're Faze, if you get another double reset here, that puts Astralis in the driver's seat essentially for the rest of this half. Dennis going to push right through the flames. Waiting there, even half blind. 4 players over at A for Faze.
How long can they keep that up? And like a banana control, at least they know what's happening in top mid, so I guess they've got some sense of what they're doing on the Astralis side here, but still, could be just a bit worried if I was on the Faze clan. Nico on top of the coils, or the coffins if you prefer, getting a headshot again, looking for the triple, and he's going to take down Kjaerbye. What a brilliant sequence there. Leaving Sip alone. That's what Nico's all about.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking to. One of the things FaZe can do, because they have so much individual skill, is they can have the trust in Nico to do something like that. Play B alone for the entirety of the first portion of the round, which you don't see too frequently. Allows them to stack 4 players at top mid, and he essentially wins a 1-on-3 there. That's not going to happen every time, but you can have confidence that Nico's going to make the right play and do some damage. Smoke's going to start fading. Xyp9x gets one through it, but Nico shuts him down for his 4th in the round. And FaZe do sustain. They do build rounds together, so now they can have some economy moving forward. They've still got a lot to grind through on the Astralis side of things, but they're sitting in a much stronger position.
I feel like it is one thing playing alone on B, but it might be even worse when you've been pushed that far back, because there's a chance that when that push happens, you can't even call it out to your teammates in time.
The crazy thing is, if you go back and watch that triple kill again, is the second kill that comes out right here. This is all timing. He's so fortunate he spots the head of Dennis.
Yeah.
If he doesn't and he takes that fight, the 3rd one against Kirby, he's traded. Maybe he gets 2 kills, maybe he doesn't, but then they lose the bomb site entirely. So opportunity there for Astralis to even win that round. So when you play that passively, sometimes it does come down to those half seconds, those little fortunate glimpses.
Well, 5-3. FaZe starting to wake up after taking a bit of a dive early on. Battle for banana control once again. Not that much effort put into it there from Astralis' side. Just Kirby tossing in a Molotov and sort of waiting to see if he could catch anyone.
Last time Guardian had this ult, he didn't really have any impact. No kills. Came out from the AWP, so gonna change his position. Last time was torn lane in the bomb site, this time rap side. As Astralis have taken control of these A-halls.
I think Guardian only has 1 kill overall, so that's also
not ideal.
Not exactly what you want in 8 rounds. It has been pretty tough in terms of the money, so that's definitely part of the explanation here. Dupree looking to make an opening down towards that boiler room. In fact, flashes are going through, running around the corner. Same flashbang as last time, and it takes down Rain. Olof towards the pit, picking off Dupree, trying to fall back in time. Guardian gets dropped. Now there's so much trouble for Olof. They're everywhere, and Sip will drop him. Harrigan and Nico, they're going to fall back immediately. That was a great execute for Astralis.
Yeah, that one flashbang they're throwing to blind over towards lane of just that one player inside the site is great. That's the 2nd time they've got the pick, as you mentioned, with that exact same play. Meanwhile, I mean, yeah, I have to point out, you do feel bad about it, but Guardian's got to do better with the AWP in his hands. He seems like he's not really comfortable into this match quite yet. Just some awkward timings around rap side, but with the AWP, you have to be able to mount some kind of a defense, because Olaf Meister just has too much to do at that point. He gets 1 kill towards lane. He's got to be mindful of both lane and the halls, and then all of a sudden he's got rap side to deal with, and you can't expect anyone to have success in that situation. So a defense of the A bomb side that just crumbled, and Astralis is going to have 6.
No trouble here at all. Such a hard position for Olof to play. Once he loses the sight and the arch or library side, I mean, that pit position is really good, but hard to hold that many angles all at once.
It's really good. It's not magical.
No.
It's not some miracle solution. Regardless, FaZe going to buy into it. Kerrigan going to be back on the UMP, playing support over at that B bomb site. Actually, excuse me, he's going to head over towards A this time. So maybe Guardian wants to try his luck over at B. Yes. Molotov's out, holding an off angle. Now, FaZe knows Astralis has had some crazy amounts of aggression through smokes at this point of the map. So maybe he's here to try and just pick someone off who's getting over aggressive, put them in their place, so to speak.
Maybe this is the solution. Guardian still a bit passive, but maybe he's going to get a chance. Kirby on the other side. If they jump, is he going to be quick enough for the flick? He turns around for the grenade. Goes for the fight here, and he can't really leave his teammate alone. Nico goes down. A lot of trouble now. Guardian alone inside of the bomb site. Backup is being called for, and Astralis still continuing on with the grenades to follow it up. They know where he is. Nice flick, taking down Dennis. Now he's behind the new box, ready and waiting. He has to come up big here, but the headshot from Kirby's just too much.
It seemed like he was primed to have a huge play, but patience out of Kirby and Astralis, and that Molotov going to block off the retreat, and Olaf's just got to run for it. He's not going to make it. He burns alive. Rain now, and this is a save call. You can do nothing in this. Astralis have made it work.
Very, very patient. So I feel like in that situation, you can either make the call, like once you get the kill on Nico behind the sandbags, you can either make that call to just rush down Guardian. He has the AWP, you know, maybe if he gets one, you can still trade that pretty easily. Or you can sort of fall back and, well, bad luck for Rain there.
Really bad luck.
But they actually pushed it, but very conservative push. Like, they were very slow. They didn't want to throw away anything there. That was very interesting.
It almost felt like the priority wasn't necessarily getting the kill on Guardian. It was just like, stay alive. Don't get picked off by him, because that's a position where Guardian, if he is able to get those kills, there's a lot of cover. So it's kind of like, you know, wait for him to get frustrated, wait for him to over-peak, but just be in positions hard to hit. Eventually, we'll find him. And once that happens, it's easy from there. And because it happens, I mean, so quickly, so early in the round, they still had plenty of utility to kind of be that patient. They had the smokes for the choke points. Yeah,
especially that one towards CT spawn. There's no one that could really help Guardian out, so very tricky indeed. 7-3, the scoreline. The money is just, it's never really there for FaZe. It's hard to watch, but we've seen it earlier today. You know, once you play that CT side and you can't get the economy up and running, you're just not having a good time at all.
And the tough part if you're FaZe is Kerrigan knows that. Kerrigan's the one in an interview has said, you know, on Inferno, economy is king. And if you don't have it, especially on the CT side, you're just not going to have a very good time. And they've kind of teetered on that edge of being able to get it and maintain their own economy, but they've kind of fallen off here in terms of their money, and now they're just going to be in a situation where they need rounds. They're never going to have another really, really great buy into this half.
UMP has been saved. I guess that is something. If you're on the FaZe side, hard to imagine it's going to have a really big outcome here. A couple of upgraded pistols. But Astralis are playing remarkably patiently, and again, with a stand-in as well, that's not always easy to do.
Not only playing patiently, but they're playing confidently in this round, knowing they have a huge advantage and just marching up middle. Nothing to slow them down. Utility is out. Dupree's going to cross over. Might even jump right through, but he's going to get in a good position. Watch for any kind of aggression. Anyone from FaZe trying to make a play. Meanwhile, his teammates pushing up lane, coming out of the halls, waiting for the peek, and there's one. The spray works. There is a flank coming in. Nico's got one. Kerrigan with the UMP, but after that, all the kills go the way of Astralis, and Nico can't hit anything. Astralis have a big, big lead here now, 8-3.
It is looking very tough for FaZe at the moment. 5 rounds down, sorry, and nearing the end of the first half. It's working on both bomb sides as well, so for FaZe, it really feels like that quad push is hard for them to hold, and they're not doing a really good job either at controlling Banana.
No, but I mean, it all comes down, again, like, oh, actually, hold the thought. Dennis is going to be aggressive. Kerrigan, it seemed like there was a second there where Dennis had the advantage, but Kerrigan recovers nicely to find that pick. Nico wants to get aggressive behind this. He's done playing around. He doesn't want to be passive, and he also wants that AK-47, and he might get punished for it. He will. Didn't clear all the way down Banana, and KRB makes him pay.
But now they're going to be really careful. Kerrigan right on the edge, and he does go down a glaive. So big opening, and just a tiny mistake there is all they needed on the Astralis side. Now they're a man up, and look who's hiding up in the apartments. Sip, ready and waiting. If they make any noise down there towards quad, they're going to get sandwiched in. This could be a horrible turn of events for FaZe. Great headshot to take down KRB, but Sip coming out. All of Meister turning around. He gets the kill, and finally he's down. It's now a 1 versus 2.
That's so unfortunate. They had Zipniks in a good spot. They had Dupree with a huge, huge positional advantage. Unfortunately, they didn't know 2 players in lane, kind of prevented anyone from having to rotate over, so Dupree was just kind of useless in that kind of scenario. Oh, he spotted one, the discipline though. Sees the legs as well, waiting for Kerrigan, or Guardian, excuse me, and he can't find it.
It's a very strange round. I mean, Olaf Meister obviously saving FaZe in that situation, but even then it looked like Astralis just had them boxed in to the point where they should have never got out.
If you're Astralis in that scenario, you want 2 people to open this kind of like 4-on-4 up, or 4-on-3, excuse me. You wanted it to either be Dupree or Zipniks. You didn't want it to be, you know, the first kill coming from those players in mid. They were not supposed to be the first point of contact.
Bit upsetting there in the 12th round. 13th round, still money on the Astralis team to continue the buy, which is very frustrating for FaZe. They would like to be on top for once, economically speaking, and pushing in as Olaf Meister with a max 7 to take down Sip. A bit of a back and forth as Guardian taking down Dupree. Only Rain going down so far, and Again, holding alone on the bomb side is Nico. He's been great so far. There's another headshot. The spray is through. And the double kill was all he needed.
It's insane. You can almost see a world in which he just taps away and gets that third kill. All down to Glaive with the bomb planted in a 1 versus 3. Molotov right into the smoke is not a good start. How does he want to use this smoke? Going to try and use it as cover for himself. See if he can get 1 kill and fall away. Flashbang is out and Glaive eats it right to the face. They haven't spotted him yet. They line up. He can almost spray 2 down. He's got it. It's a 1-on-1.
That's so big. Flashbang is out. Guardian is right in front and not flash just yet. Glaive needs it, but Guardian with a big shot coming through there. The M4 and picking up a 5th round for FaZe. That is very important.
Yeah, that is huge. And even Guardian going to find the kit as well. Glaive almost somehow making that work. And that was a close defuse.
Closer than I thought.
Yeah, me too.
The extra second there to pick up the kit could have been fatal. 8-5 though, 14th round coming up, and it's starting to move in the right direction for FaZe. And it'll be interesting to see where they put Dennis Astralis once they get to the CT side, and if that could be exploited by SK, by FaZe.
Especially because on this map, Device was so mobile when he had the AWP on the CT side. Like he was all over the place. So it's going to be a tough call. Nico, don't expect to see that when you transition into his POV. A wild spray can't clean up the kill. And even a bit of a missed smoke as the Flames put it out in an awkward spot. There's a big gap on that left side. Meanwhile, the rest of Astralis encroaching upon the A bomb site. Nades are out.
Yeah, very standard set of nades there towards the pit, putting a bit of pressure on the CT side. Guardian with 1 big kill. But he gets traded by Glaive, and now they're going to wrap around the bomb site. 3 men still defending, but Dennis takes down Kerrigan, and now they're in trouble. Rain trapped in the corner. Where are they going to go? They're just pausing it. They want to take the fight towards B instead. What a great mid-round call coming out of Astralis. They are a man, they're a man up, so they can actually do almost anything here. They're not going to leave anyone behind to catch any sort of stragglers. Instead, they're going to go for the bomb plant.
Oh, Ximnix is going to swing out wide. He gets into a fight he really didn't want to take at that point. It's into a 2-on-2. How fast does FaZe want to take this retake? Glaive biding his time, waiting for contact. There it is, the peek out, it's perfect. Molotov on the bomb as well, although Olaf gets him at the last second.
But, oh, he just picked up a kid, Olafmeister. That's so big. Now, can he bait Dennis into this one? And Dennis just walking right in. No bait required. Double kill for Dennis. And Astralis picking up a 9th round here.
I think you can hear the crowd as well cheering as Dennis standing in takes out his former teammate in the 1-on-1. Ice cold. This is a really cool round from Astralis. I think the call to make this happens when they realize one of the kills they got rapside was Kerrigan, who's normally playing over at B as like kind of the rotator for Nico, who's the anchor. And as soon as they realize they've taken out Kerrigan, they say, all right, there's got to be 2 players at A. They're the normal defenders and only 1 over at B. So make the switch up and it works out perfectly for them.
And once again, the economy not favoring the FaZe side. This has just been the big struggle for them here on the CT side. It helps to explain a lot of the scoreline, and I mean the fact that they have 5 rounds is probably actually a fairly good job, considering just how few of them have been rifle rounds overall. They're a man down again, and kind of hard to see how they can make it out here, although Kerrigan getting that kill on Dennis is going to help. Oh, and Guardian sneaking in, he missed the first shot, and he goes down. That was the chance.
Yep. And it's still a small opportunity. It just kind of dwindles, doesn't it? They do have 2 AK-47s as they come in on the flank. Just Kerrigan is just so low. And there's a crossfire here as well, the top mid. Should be all over. Olafmeister not expecting Glaive on the other side. A 10-5 half for Astralis. As we mentioned, they've already made the grand finals, but there's probably a lot of importance in this match that you wouldn't expect, as you don't want to play a team like FaZe in the finals. You want to take them out in the best of ones. Absolutely.
They are such a lethal team. Get them on that best-of-3 territory, and you never know what's going to happen. 10-5, good start. I'm not convinced yet. I think I'm still curious to see if Dennis is going to be a weak spot here. When they were on Overpass, he loved playing aggressive, but it's not as easy on Inferno.
Well, it's a pistol round, so that's all he needs to do is win him this round. And he's starting it off nicely with 2 amazing kills. And this is a stack. They're trying to bait him into Ximnix. This could work perfectly. No, FaZe is going to check it. That's heartbreaking. Next up is Dupree. He's holding them off for now. It's a 1-on-2 here, essentially. They're just going to swing and take the fight, and Guardian finishes it. That should seal the deal. KRB on the rotation in a 1-on-3.
What a huge round for Guardian, picking up 4 kills already. Challenging dupreeh there at the end and looking for the ace in the pistol against KRB, but he gets taken down, stolen by the Danish player. That looked like it should have been his time to ace it. Instead, KRB now looking for more players, and he can look for a very long time. While the bomb is down, that's not exactly what you want to do, and Nico will drop him. A big round coming out of Faze here. That's the first step in the right direction.
That almost works out. It was Dennis with those 2 quick kills, but after this, if Glaive just survives a little bit longer, if he gets around that corner, that crossfire comes up huge. And a great on Faze to even clear that out, because sometimes when you kill those 2 players, you think that's about it, and you can just run into a nightmare. So Faze not done yet. There is a small amount of investment from Astralis, but it's not the upgraded pistol and armor. They go for an investment in utility and upgraded pistol, so they want to be able with some smokes, perhaps run the clock down, perhaps put up some inconvenience. Oh, and that's great.
That's inconvenient.
Yeah, that's a nice start, isn't it?
Bullet right in the face of Guardian as he's down, but good return there. Rain, no hesitation with the MAC-10 to take down Dennis. 4 versus 4.
Faze kind of playing this passively, spreading out, not really progressing across the map. They're happy to take control of top mid and just wait for the moment. It's going to be towards Rap side they look. Smoke out in the arches. Not crossing quite yet, but here they go. It's going to be Kerrigan leading away with the UMP. The deagle from dupreeh not able to get that kill. And now he knows they're coming up lane. How fast is Kerrigan go? He's turning the corner right now, and that's an easy kill from the back. KRB's giving up his position, and he can find nothing.
You could just tell that dupreeh was running out of angles to play with then. You know, it's sort of like there are only so many corners you could turn before, you know, they're right on top of you. And that's eventually what happened. Sip and Glaive hoping for an exit somewhere, but Faze, I think admirably, just holding it tight, not really panicking,
yeah,
and following through in that round.
Here's Zipnix now. Would love to just get 1 kill. It's going to be a 7th for Faze when all is said and done here. So they're closing the gap, and that looked kind of funny. Rain just eliminates Zipnix very, very quickly.
It's the gangster MAC-10.
Yeah.
Glaive far away from the action at the moment. Doesn't look like anyone is going to find him. 7th round here for Faze. Definitely important. Definitely 1 step closer to bringing it back. And again, we don't know much about how this, you know, version of Astralis is going to end up playing on CT side.
I think they're going to be all right once they get the guns out. I think Dennis is going to do just fine on his own. And it's not just that, it's just the way everyone else seems to be playing right now is very comfortable, is very confident. And remember, there's no reason for Astralis to get nervous. They're in the grand finals. So even if it gets close, it's just like, all right, we'll just have to beat him in the grand finals.
Confidence certainly all around Astralis here. They try and see if they could push down Banana, and Rain was ready for it. Easy couple of kills there with the MAC-10. Glaive alone to try and do the final bit of damage. And they're not even going to leave him alone. Looks like they want to hunt him down. Rain with a triple. A lot of money in his pockets, and great news here. Faze back in the game, 8-10.
And now we're going to have all M4s for the Astralis side of things. No AWP is picked up. So Faze looking to close the gap even more. They have a small bonus round of their own. Olaf's still on the MAC-10. Kerrigan's on a Galil. No need to update the Galil, or upgrade the Galil, excuse me. Nades out for Olaf. He's going to continue pushing forward. That's Zipnix coming through the flames, and he finds 2 kills. I don't know how he's done that. Must have been a blind, a great flashbang from his teammate. But that's incredible that he finds 2.
You're really committed to the fight at that point in time. There's no falling back once you're crouched up against that wall. So very well done, and probably a bit of a shock to Faze losing 2 players right off the bat.
I mean, you expect to lose Olaf, right? He's got the MAC-10, so you're just like, all right, he's dead. But certainly we'll trade that, or certainly it won't be that bad. A 1-for-1. But that's great find from Astralis early on.
How did they get control back here, Faze? They've pushed them back on Banana. No one in top mid right now. Astralis have decided to hold very defensively and say, well, listen, we're going to have a pretty good setup wherever you go. dupreeh towards what used to be Little Pit, looking for just 1 opening is all he needs. Sees the feet, goes for the fight and does so much damage, and it's a team kill. Guardian taking down Rain, so a little bit of panic there.
Now he's switched over as well, turtled up into the bomb site. They know one's coming up lane. Dupree, full trust in Caribbean to take care of that. Doesn't even glance over, and it's Guardian who's just getting naded down to nothing. And the tough part, if you're Faze, is you haven't even really done any damage to the economy. You only get one kill. You wanted more than that. So right away in the rifle rounds, Astralis takes one, and they're set up to build up some bank as well.
Yeah, very well done, and you're right, the trust there, and just knowing that he had him covered. Yeah, very good stuff. 11-8, and moving into the 20th round, we've got a couple of stolen AKs there on Astralis' side. We'll see what Faze can do. Guardian with the AWP really has not had the impact we were hoping for just yet, but maybe on T side it will be.
Molotov's out, and Olaf is going to extinguish the far one. Faze wanting to fight for a bit of banana control. Nades do a little damage over to Nico. And Olaf being very aggressive around these smokes. You imagine there's going to be some kind of a timing over this wall from his teammate with a flashbang. That's Nico. And here it comes. Pop flashes out, shots to try and bait him into a peek, and it actually works. Although Olaf doesn't peek with it, Astralis is able to get back into the bomb site safely.
Yeah, maybe it was a chance to catch Sip there. It looked like he couldn't see anything for a while. But they get the control. The bomb is still pretty far back, so right now maybe that's just a plan for Faze early on. Carrigan saying, listen, just try and get top mid, try and get banana, and then we'll sort of make up our minds after that. Not uncommon.
Rain is going to be the next one. I think he heard those footsteps, and Dupree just backs away. Actually runs back. 45 seconds left in the round. Rain smoking off left side mid. Carrigan applying some pressure from Halls. Molotov to force someone into the open and pit. It's not going to happen. A lot of utility being exchanged at this A bomb site. There's only flashbangs left. And the bomb was left all the way back at T-spawn. They had to run and get it. That's going to slow things down. The hit's got to start without the bomber there. Great counter flashes to slow things down, but Nico's going to lead the way.
That kill on Dennis is so big. Sip taking one, and there is a guy on the other side. That's Glaive crouching in. And now we've only got 14 seconds. They can't even run back to the bomb site. This is a disaster. Rain goes down. Carrigan trying to keep it alive and taking down Sip. There's only 7 seconds, and Glaive still back here. Oh, what a headshot from Carrigan. Can they get the bomb in time? Last possible second. And the bomb is planted for a 2-on-2 retake coming in. What a ridiculous round. They may have just done it. Carrigan on the triple kill. Brilliant round from him. Now they just have to hold on.
Oh, it's an absolute disaster for Astralis here. That Molotov isn't going to help anything whatsoever. They're still going to go for it, but Guardian's got a great angle with the ult. He spotted one far back, but oh, he peeks too wide, and Caribbean's got both! Monumental plays at Astralis. They get a 12th. I do not know how they've won that, but Guardian gets baited into a peek.
He looks on the left side of the box and sees the guy in CT spawn and thinks, listen, I'm going to peek him on the other side. It'll all be fine. And then that's where Kirby is. Except he's up on those little barrels.
I'm wondering if there was some kind of miscommunication on how much was being watched by Guardian's teammate, because he didn't seem like there was. You usually don't make that kind of a mistake when you know that you're so susceptible to that angle.
That's so rough when you've done so much to get back in that round. Triple for Carrigan, and you can't pull it through. Last second plant, 12-8.
Even given, you know, an opportunity by Glaive, that kind of peak, you could see he was playing the time, right? He wanted to get a peak that was going to bring it below, and I think he just took it too slow. He didn't kind of like swing out or anything like that, force the fight. He kind of just walked into it, which gave him the time to plant. Either way, everyone's going to high-five Caribbean as he gives them a 12th.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. The second shot was so quick, the one that happened on Carrigan, so they're not going to forget that anytime soon. Bit of a peek in the middle. Dupree goes down. That peek is so hard when you're on the CT side. Not sure it's really worth it to try and go for it, but obviously they've got the confidence right now.
I would assume he goes for that because he doesn't think there's a chance that Guardian has an AWP. Obviously misread the situation, misread the economy, if that is indeed the reason. And he gets punished for it. So Dennis picks the ult back up, which I guess you wouldn't be too critical of, considering we've often joked that some of his past teams have had about 4 oppers in them.
Yeah, he's one of those players that could do it, even if it's been a while since he's been very active with it. I feel like that stuff doesn't really just go away. FaZe get the opening frag, but they don't try and overplay their hand right now. They just want to keep their cool, try and see if they can maybe get that banana control and then try and set something up. And Astralis are making a lot of rotations over on especially the A side now, putting a third player in there.
It's always weird when you're on the CT side with a player down. Where do you stack? How do you have any information that you need? Can you rotate someone to the right spot in time? Can you just get lucky with the call? But Xyp9x is the man you'd want to be the anchor here. You've always been able to rely on him. Smoke's out. Molotov would slow things down, but Faze is just booking it to the other bomb site. And there's 2 players inside of A. This is going to be a difficult defense. You don't often see it work.
No, very, very hard, especially when one is the AWP, but Kirby picks up the first shot with the AK-47. Carrigan down and out, and so is Dennis. No more. And Kirby next, so you see them just being completely wrapped on that bomb site. Too many angles to hold.
And you see them confused about who's supposed to be taking what fight, who's watching which angle, which edge of the box whatsoever. And it's just that's why it's such a deadly thing, and I'm not sure how they got lured into it with some of the confusion of the rounds, but you never want to have 2 players inside that bomb site.
No, definitely a recipe for disaster. It's a bit different if you had, 1 player in pit or something that could sort of control part of it, but just 2 on the side itself, never a good idea. Going to be Faze winning the round 9-12. And especially those opening kills is just so important.
Yeah, and you can all say, a lot of this round comes down to the opening pick from Guardian as well. A great shot of Dupree crossing mid, trying to take a fight of his own. And from there, it's just Astralis never able to figure out what's coming and never able to really manage that disadvantage. Just an easy, typical shot, but this is just, you can see, they almost run into each other. And, it is important to note as well, that's Dennis, right?
Yes.
So that is the stand-in. That's someone where, perhaps with Device, they have like that, they know the different rotations they take to never end up in that scenario. And that's one of the deficiencies of having a stand-in playing in this kind of a tournament, is those style of miscommunications.
So is that what you want on the Faze side? Are you just trying to sort of bait Astralis into making as many rotations as possible and hope that they screw it up along the way?
No, you never have a game plan that's just like, let's just make them run across the map, right? You're always trying to accomplish some goal. It's just very nice when it happens that way.
9-12, ladies and gentlemen. A bit of a timeout there as we're moving into the 22nd round. Astralis with a 3-round lead, but they are not out of the woods yet. And Faze, let's just see how far they can push this. Their T side is looking a lot better right now than their CT side ever did. Plus, they have the money.
Money's always good, Anders.
Yes, indeed. Nice grenade, though. Softening up Olaf and Nico. But they're not going to care. They're just running through anyway. Sit alone in the corner, and he can't even get that kill, even if Olaf was just crouching over there. Nico's crouching right in front. There's Clay with a big double spray. Trying to make it back to stay alive. 4 versus 3.
And there's a gap in the smoke as well that Glaive is trying to handle, and he could get one more. Oh, the smoke comes out just in time. I think Olaf realized it. Some damage comes out, some chip damage through that smoke. But the bomb is going to go down, and there's going to be a flank coming eventually.
Cover a smoke, so safe enough for the bomb plant. Dupree going for the flank. If he wins this fight, then the rest of the terrorists on the site are going to be boxed in. That's not a good idea. Rain waiting patiently. The bomb is down, so eventually Astralis is going to have to make their move. Rain out in the open. The timing is perfect. Dupree to pick up a big kill there on Rain. And now there's trouble. Carrigan and Olaf Meister, they have to hold on to this. They can't let Astralis back in the game. Carrigan behind the new box. Who's going to peek first? It's Carrigan with a headshot. Olaf on the other side, taking down Dennis. Somehow, Faze holding on to the round. And they've prevented the spray. There comes Carrigan, taking down Dupree out in the open. And there's just no more time. Glaive is going to go down. And Carrigan, what a champion. Taking down his former teammates. Surviving in that 2 versus 4.
That's so incredible. Him and Olaf have the perfect setup, and they juggle it so well. Carrigan with the first, Olaf with the next. And then it's Astralis again, just getting bottlenecked in one small, narrow choke point. This is beautiful, and that's a textbook round on how to hold out in that situation. They're bailed out, and you can just see Carrigan is fired up. He is hyped. The lone Dane on the Faze side of things.
Well, he should be hyped up. That was a brilliant round. Not easy to play that. Soon as you lose one player in that 2 versus 4, it's not like the other one has a great chance of doing anything. They're probably just going to get shut down. As Astralis are in this round, Sip and Glaive, the last 2 left. Faze are embarking on that comeback, Moses.
Yes, they really are. They've done a great job on this T side. Some good opening kills, some big time performances. Guardian still controlling top mid, and He's going to stick around and actually gets dropped by Glaive. This is easy. A quick peek and a kill. Now there's just too much for him to do there. So it's going to be an 11th for FaZe. It's Zipnik's in a 1v3 with just a USP, and he's going to walk right into a headshot. And what is the solution for Astralis? Because we've seen a couple tactical timeouts come. They haven't been able to have an AWP too much on the CT side, and even when they have, it wasn't effective. So maybe that's something they're saying that's not exactly valuable for us to switch into.
Yeah, I feel like even though we do sometimes see it on Inferno, the AWP have a big impact. Not really this game, it seems like. So maybe it's worth it for both teams to sort of leave it alone and try and do it with the rifles instead.
I think if you're Astralis, one thing you have to think of is you've had some chances to take fights with at Banana, because it's been Olaf Meister and Nico there, which is a pretty intimidating duo, to be fair. But you found a lot of times where you can have that duel. Maybe you put a third person there, because they've usually just fought it 2-on-2. Last round, I mean, a couple rounds ago, it almost went perfect for Zipnik. He got dropped, magnificently by just by an unfortunate, couldn't finish the kill in time. But if you put a third player there and you stop those two, if you stop Nico and Olaf Meister, then you give yourself an advantage.
Man, they're so close to doing it. Their economy is not great any longer on the FaZe side, but then again, the Astralis don't really have that much to work with either, so both teams are on the edge here. Especially Astralis, I think, could end up giving up the lead very quickly here. This could spring from sort of 11-12 into 13-12, favoring FaZe very fast.
Yes, it can. Olaf again. Pop flash coming through the smoke. He wants to fight. This is what I'm talking about. You have the opportunity. Nico gets the kill. Glaive's able to trade it out, but he doesn't want to stick around. Again, that 2-on-2. It just turns into a 1-on-1 or 1-for-1 exchange. Rain is up next, and Dupree wins that. It's huge. He's down to 19, but a critical kill.
And that's in spite of the fact that I think Rain saw the shadow on the ground there, so maybe he should have even had the advantage. Couldn't really pick it up. 4 versus 3 now. Bomb making its way over on Banana at the moment. Still plenty of time here for FaZe to find an opening, which looks like Carrigan is going to try and do that. Shoulder peek. Dupree solo on health. The flashbang is in, and he's going to win that fight easily. He does take a bit of damage for it, but it brings it back to a 3-on-3. So intelligent play by Carrigan.
It's also very awkward for Astralis in the defense because Carrigan had so much ground. You feel this A bomb site is under a lot more pressure than it actually was at the moment. And that's why you've seen a rotation, a second player getting into the A bomb site. And that leaves one defender alone at B. That's Glaive. His teammates see nothing, but he's got a big, big job to do, especially because he's going to get wrapped on from CT spawn. Astralis have missed this, a hole in the defense. It's all on the in-game leader.
Glaive by the coffins, 20 seconds left, and now he's going to hear the grenades. He knows the rotation's going to have to come in, but there's a player in CT spawn as well. Glaive with a headshot, taking down Olaf Meister. That's a really big kill. Now only 10 seconds. They've got to find him, and Dennis is there for the perfect timing, dropping the bomb, and any chance that they could win the round. Glaive to close it out, and somehow Astralis pick it back up again. It looked like FaZe had infiltrated the lineup and that they had the perfect scenario there.
I mean, the timer obviously doesn't help, but at all moments to become scared to make a move, scared to be the aggressors, that's the wrong one for it to happen for FaZe. Just no one seemed to want to take over that B bomb site. Olaf gets dropped, and from here, you have to just get in. The flank comes out perfectly in Glaive. That's a masterclass at the B bomb site all alone in a tough situation. So 13-11, it looked like FaZe was almost on the verge of taking control of this match, but they're put on the back foot.
Really on the back foot, especially when you look at the money. They've got the Galil, C-set 75 there on Carrigan, and AKs on the rest. Not really that many grenades either. I would say FaZe are once again in quite a bit of trouble here against Astralis. 13-11. I'm not sure where this is going to end up now. They definitely have had a better time on the T side, but maybe not good enough.
Nades down. This time FaZe not challenging Banana, at least early on. They don't have a whole lot of nades to do it with, so that's why you might not see Nico and Olaf taking that fight. And it's a group up. 3 players going to come out balcony. Caribbe's here, though. There's 1 kill on Dupree. Dennis chiming in, and Caribbe holds it off well. And it's all 5 kills very quickly for Astralis. 14-11.
That's all you want. Not always easy playing that balcony. When the first player gets past you, there's sort of a tendency to just be aiming at too many targets, but this kind of setup was just absolutely perfect for it. Dupree there in the middle to clean it up. Great triple for him, 14-11.
And again, great game sense by dupreeh. Full trust in his teammates. I mean, he gets that one kill towards balcony, and then he trusts his two to be able to clean up whatever comes next. And he turns back towards mid. That's his job to hold it. It's a great performance from him. Olaf throwing out some shots and just praying that he gets the luckiest shot of his life.
They are having a bit of a game over here. Glaive happy to play it because he's trying to distract from the fact that Sip is pushed all the way down, which I'm not even sure that they're realizing just yet. Olafmeister still playing with death. Our apartments is being cleared out for Faze, so they're trying to get some map control as best they can.
Yeah, they're working on it, but the tough part is you want banana, right? And Nico and Olaf don't have really the arsenal to take this fight whatsoever. Glaive's trying to bait, and I think they know that. Great deagle shot close up. And that's a huge win for Faze. So you can see, as we go out to the arena now, Astralis up 14-11, trying to eliminate Faze from making it into the grand finals.
A lot on the line right here. It's been a close game. Faze have struggled, especially economically, had a really hard time getting all the rifles. And in this round too, they have the M4 there on Rain that they've stolen. Let's see what they can do. Only 27 seconds as they bring the bomb back towards Banana. And that B bomb side, two men holding on the Astralis side. Kirby spraying close, and he's going to win that fight against Kerrigan. Rain with a great refrag coming in. 3 versus 4, still there a man up on the Faze side, and Rain doing even more work, taking down dupreeh. Dennis is gone, and Glaive, the last one left in a 1 versus 3. It's looking great here. Faze holding on right at the end.
They used Rain as a distraction, but he actually cleared out the entirety of the A bomb site. Would have been heartbreaking if Faze was shut down over at B. They've done a great job though, and Glaive just trying to fight his way out. He knows Rain's gonna be somewhere, but he can't figure it out. Faze still hanging on in this match. Their grand final hopes all on these last few rounds.
Yes, indeed. Olafmeister with 19, Rain at 18. That's kind of what you want to see if you're watching Faze. I feel like those are the players that are gonna have to put in a lot of work. Kirby and dupreeh on the other side, and Sip as well, I suppose. Oh, sorry, Glaive actually the one top fragging, who was doing quite badly when we were watching on Overpass, so yeah. That's interesting.
Can't be great in every game, but this is phenomenal from Rain. 2 quick kills, dupreeh not able to find him over the smoke, and then cleaning it up at the end as well. Tactical pause is going to come to an end, and it's Astralis. They're going to have to go back to the pistols. They know if they want to close this match out, they need a strong economy, and while they have a decent amount of money built up, they don't want to take the risk of investing super heavily into this round. So they're going to get the Deagles, they're going to get the CZs, some utility.
There would have been some teams out there that would have bought on this buy, I feel like, or this amount of money.
It's always one of the most difficult decisions to make, is when your economy is on that edge of just completely collapsing underneath you. So Astralis showing restraint.
What's it gonna do? They have the smokes, and it looks like they're gonna try and boost up on top of one of them towards middle. Guardian is right on the other side, and nothing really comes of it this time. And Faze, honestly, have been very good here in the second half. To play very restrained and not really take any big risks. They're so slowly trying to choke out Astralis in the second half.
They're done especially good of keeping up the fight over on Banana between Nico and Olaf, and I think it's Glaive and Zipnix that have been here. They've done a very good job of applying pressure to this bomb site, even if they don't commit to it. As I say that, Nico gets the opening pick, gets traded off by Kirby with a nice shot from the Deagle. The bomb is rotated back, but I don't think Faze want to actually pull the trigger here at B.
Right on top there, dupreeh. He had the chance, now he's going to run right back into the open arms of Rain while reloading the Deagle. That's a big problem for the site, and Rain knows it. There's Dennis going down. Next in line is Kirby. He does some damage. I'm not sure it's enough. A headshot, though, to take down Kerrigan. Surely not. 2 versus 3. The Guardian is low on health, but they still have so much work to do here on the Astralis side.
Yeah, smoke has just gone out. That's going to force Glaive back, and doesn't even look like they're going to go for it. They're almost saying we're just happy to pick up an AK-47 if we can find it. There's a pop flash in mid just to get the weapon. Glaive's completely blind. They're not prepared for Olafmeister to be here, though. He's just lying in wait. 1 kill for him. Now Kirby trying to chase him down, and that's a tough angle for the Deagle, but Olaf just wants to live. And Kirby's going to bail out of the fight. He's got an AK-47. This would actually be pretty big if he's able to get away with it, and it looks like he will. Guardian and Olaf don't want the fight, and Rain's not able to find him, so props to Kirby as the bomb explodes, 14-13.
just one small thing, that AK-47, but you're absolutely right. Sometimes it can have a big impact on a round. AWP picked up on Dupree and one on Guardian, so we had a couple of rounds where they didn't even try for it. Now it's back in action again. 13-14 here.
If you're Astralis, maybe you put Dupree over towards Banana with the op, and you just say they've been jumping through the smoke, see if you could just get the one kill, but it's not going to happen. FaZe want to take this much quicker. They're battling through utility. They've taken a little bit of damage, but they're being slowed down. Olaf going to be stuck behind the half wall, and Astralis is just going to give up sandbags. They cannot contend with that amount of commitment from FaZe.
So many grenades being exchanged. Still enough left for an execute, but no more Molotovs there on FaZe. That could be a little bit annoying later on. So maybe they did end up using a bit too much there at top Banana, but they have the control, and now they want to push them back over on the top mid side, which is always going to be important as well. There's Dupree and taking down Rain.
It's been a while since Rain's seen the op out on the defense, and I think he gets caught in a peek. Astralis, though, have started to rotate away. Zipnik's boosted up, just waiting, as all of FaZe is in Banana. Utility gonna come out. No presence over at the A bomb site, so here it comes. This is gonna be a huge round for FaZe, down one.
And Astralis, normally you check it. Are they gonna have the presence of mind here on the FaZe side? Nico opening up and taking down Glaive. Sip has a lot of work to do, and they're still playing patiently. No rushes coming through. Don't want to get through the smoke too quick, and let's see what they can do. 24 seconds here. This is very, very low on time for FaZe. They have to make this work there. Out of rounds to play with. Sip with a big double spray down. Dennis with the one and picks up a headshot, and Astralis, they pick up the round, make it to 15. Just like that. The perfect crossfire setup. Dennis, not a permanent member of this team, but his intuition for playing that angle was dead on.
That really was, and Zipnik's, that second kill is beautiful. The transfer over from the boost is so disgusting. Even without, I mean, you can see the smoke fades. FaZe have nothing to really make it into the site safely. That's the exact recipe you need for a crossfire to shut things down. All beginning with Dupree's pick on Rain with the up. Astralis have 2 chances to close this out.
15-13. No overtime in this format here, so tied scoreline not going to help FaZe all that much. I feel like AWP there on Dupree, and a bit of a tactical timeout to figure out exactly how to do this.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you want to do, right? Exactly how you want to go about this, because you're going to be put onto some lesser weapons. You don't have, again, all the utility, all the weaponry that you want. I think it's Guardian and Rain who are just going to be on armor and CZs. Kerrigan and Olaf Meister so far have AK-47s, and Nico still yet to see what he's going to choose to invest in. So dire situation for FaZe, as Astralis look to have a pretty dominating group stage.
They really have been playing a lot better than maybe people were expecting, certainly better than I was expecting. I feel like Device being such an impactful player on this team, and he obviously is, but take him away, who knows what the result is going to be. A bit of a spray here for Olaf, long range. Dave gets the refrag. It looked like Olaf maybe had that under control. Kirby up in the apartments, and the timing is almost unbelievable. Somehow he makes his way in. Rain manages to divert, and Kerrigan is back with the kill. My God.
What a sick jump from Rain. Baits him into that. Completely blind is Glaive, trying to disappear into the smoke. Nico's going to find it. Somehow they're making this work. Somehow Astralis have dropped the ball here. And it's going to be a 14th for FaZe, as Dupree just has to sit this out.
Very interesting. Dupree, can they get that AWP away from him? He didn't have any impact in this round, but you want to make sure they don't play that 30th round with anything at all, if you can.
It's crazy to see Astralis on the CG side choose to call at this junction at 15-13, that mid push. You know, one player trying to rush down mid right at FaZe. Olaf just swings wide with an AK and finds himself a free kill. Great shot from Dupree. He's going to have to try and keep this alive. They know where he is now. Molotov going to force him into the open. That's Guardian who's waiting for him. Dupree down to about half HP. The jump up is there. And Dupree's got to manage a very tough angle, trying to stay alive, and he does so far. There's more coming, and he's not able to do it. Rain takes the off away.
Absolutely huge news coming out there for the FaZe side, giving it back to Guardian. 15-14 here, ladies and gentlemen. The 30th round coming up now. And Astralis, look at this. from Mars there on Dupree, not a great sign, and even worse, the pistols on Dennis, Sip, and Glaive. They've got nearly nothing to fight with here.
No, I mean, FaZe didn't have anything last round either, and they made it work, so we'll see if there are any heroics on the Astralis side. Zipnik's playing at Sandbag, is going to be blind. There's Careby with the M4. He's gone deep to find that opening kill. He's really pushed out, and there's no retreat from this, is there? You either push or you fall all the way back Rain. Is he aware of how aggressive Careby is being? He's going to turn the corner, and it's going to be a second for Careby, opening this up nicely. The only M4 doing work.
Something you don't see every day on Inferno, a CT player being pushed down that far. Obviously, FaZe weren't really ready for that. 5 versus 3 now. They are weirdly boxed in here. If they start to go back towards the middle, they're going to get hurt really early on. Dupree playing in that boiler room, so it's do or die time now for the FaZe side.
And because, I mean, look at this. Because Careby had pushed out so far and won both of those battles, FaZe feels so uncomfortable leaving Banana. And they can't really go forward because they know it's likely stacked. So the choice is to fight their way back out. And this is just eating time off the clock. Under 40 seconds left in this round as Nico leads the way, but they have to clear out every corner. Astralis could be anywhere.
One smoke, one flashbang is what they have left now. Let's see what they could do. 27 seconds, trying to see if they cause a bit of a distraction and maybe split onto the site. They've certainly forced Dennis out. He bought that for a minute, and that leaves alone on the bomb site here. Sip, they're actually rotating back in again. Nico with a headshot, taking down Dupree. And now it's a 2-on-3. Still on the site, waiting in the graveyard is Careby. That one single M4 that they saved. Report, see if they could do it here. Glaive trying to cause a bit of distraction. Bomb being planted, and that's going to be the round. Careby coming in with a big quad kill. And Astralis absolutely over the moon here as they take down FaZe in the last possible round.
They'd already made it to the grand finals, but I think that ensures they won't have to face FaZe there. That's a big win in and of itself. Nicely done for Astralis against all the odds. No one knew what to expect with a stand-in here, but Dennis has performed so admirably for the home team.
Look at Careby, absolutely excited coming out of the booth there.